this is the two-stranded floats that I've worked with so far, and this is how it looks when you're working with two-stranded yarn for this particular pattern. Now I'm going to show you how to work it in, and let's get started. Okay, so I am working right now on the knit side. Okay, we're going to do it where we're not twisting the yarn. So what you do is you put the contrasting yarn in, and then the yarn that is your working yarn, you make sure it crisscross so that you have ample room, and a crisscross will give you to turn it around. So what you'll do is kind of just flip it around, and this allows you to flip it back by flipping the contrasting yarn underneath first, then your base yarn on top, and then you just move it to the back. So it literally stays secure. So there you go. You've captured that yarn in with the other yarn. So now what we're going to do is knit the base yarn. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're putting to secure it down the blue, like I did with the yellow. So what we're going to do is put the blue down, because the blue is going to get flipped back. We want to knit with the yellow. So see how it's securing? And then what we do is flip the blue back. See? Now it's secure with the yellow. And then what we're going to do is knit the yellow, leave the blue falling back. Okay? So as I go, what I want to do is secure the blue in as I go, because I want to use it throughout my knitting to make the smooth transition. As I go, and I usually base it off of how it's looking on the back. So sometimes I'll do 3, sometimes I do 4. So the majority of it depends on how I'm counting. I just don't want a long float when I do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knit. I'm working on the 4th. And so what I'm going to do is put the blue in the center of the yellow. Take my yellow, secure the blue down. So what we are doing is crisscrossing. The blue is on the bottom because that is not my working yarn. So what we're doing is putting the yellow on top, but making sure it's crisscross secure, because we want to secure this back. And see, the yellow is securing it down. Okay? So now what we want to do is actually knit the yellow. So the yellow gets knitted down. Okay? So I'm going to do that probably like I was saying, every 3 to 4 I'm going to do that. So let's move on. So let's knit our main color, the yellow. Okay? So we're knitting. All right, the blue in between the knitting needles, the yellow on top, move over, knit the yellow, and move on. Okay? So we just continuously do that. So we're securing it in blue on top, the loop, yellow on top of the blue, move your strand over. We are securely, nicely nestled in there. Blue. Okay. go. And we're going to knit. Now, as I get closer to the end, I'm going to be switching and doing the opposite. And we do the same thing because I need to actually knit another yellow. Okay, so I'm going to knit that yellow. All right, now we're going to switch over to floating over the yellow. Okay, so all we do is we start knitting the blue, and then we start floating in the yellow, so it's in between the loop. Blue over, securing the yellow, move the yellow over, and then knit the blue. And then we're going to continue on. And we're doing the same every 3 or 4. All right. So now we are doing the opposite, the yellow. Okay. And you don't want to stretch it too far out because you want to be sure that it bounces back and it doesn't pucker too much when you're doing your knitting. And then with the blue, and then we're moving that over. That is nice and secure. And that's secure. And then we're going to continue on that way. So we just keep knitting the blue. Yellow in between. And then we secure it, move that over, and then knit the blue. And then you just continue on that way and get your floats all neat.